Two clubs walk out for kickoff. Different cities, different leagues, different shirts, rival fans screaming at each other across the stadium, and the same company owns both of them. Not a sponsor, not a partner. The owner, the same hand signing the checks for both sides. You've probably watched a match like this without ever knowing it. Your club and the club you hate, quietly sharing one boss. This is the biggest quiet takeover in football history, and almost nobody notices it happening because it's not designed to be noticed. Here's the number that should scare you. In 2012, fewer than 40 clubs in the world shared an owner with another club. Today, it's more than 180. Some counts say far more. Thousands of players now work for a team that's secretly connected to other teams. One group, City Football Group, built around Manchester City, runs 13 clubs across the planet, from Girona in Spain to Melbourne to New York. Another, Red Bull, runs a chain stretching from Europe to Brazil to the United States. But hold on. Here's the part that makes no sense yet. Why would anyone want to own 13 football clubs when most football clubs, as we've shown before, lose money? Buying one money loser is strange enough. Buying 13 sounds insane. Unless the clubs aren't the point. Unless they're pieces of something bigger, and that something bigger is the whole secret. Because these owners aren't collecting clubs like trophies. They're building a machine. A machine with one purpose. And once you see that purpose, every strange transfer you've ever seen suddenly makes sense. So what is the machine actually for? Keep watching. Because the answer is hiding inside a rule that football never meant to create. Start with a problem every big club has. The best young talent on earth is scattered across the world. A brilliant 16-year-old in Brazil. Another in Argentina. Another in Africa. Big European clubs want them early, cheap, before anyone else notices. But there's a wall. Rules stop a club from simply buying a foreign teenager and dropping him into their academy. After Brexit, English clubs can't even sign most European players under 18. So how do you get the kid before your rivals do, when the rules say you can't? Simple. You don't buy the kid for your club. You buy him for another club you also own. That's the trick. The teenager signs for the smaller club in the network, the one in a country with easier rules. He grows there, plays there, becomes a star there, and when he's ready, he moves up the chain to the big club. A transfer that looks completely normal from the outside. One famous example, Red Bull, has done this for years, moving nearly 20 players between its Salzburg club in Austria and RB Leipzig in Germany since 2005, each time for a friendly in-house price. Which raises a very uncomfortable question. If the same company owns both clubs, who decides the transfer fee? Think about what that means. In a normal transfer, two enemies argue. The selling club wants more. The buying club wants to pay less. That fight sets a fair price, but when one owner controls both sides, there's no fight. There's no enemy across the table. The owner can move a player from one of his clubs to another, and more or less name the price himself. Need to make one club look richer. Sell a player to your other club for a fortune. Need to move money quietly across borders. A transfer fee is the perfect envelope. Football has a name for this danger. Related party transactions. And the authorities are terrified of them. Because they're almost impossible to police. But even that isn't the real prize. The real reason these networks exist is bigger. And we're about to reach it. Remember, top clubs live under spending controls. Lose too much money and you get punished. Points gone, transfers banned. So how do you keep spending like a giant without breaking the rules? You spread yourself across a network. Develop players cheaply at the small clubs. Sell them between your own clubs to create profit on the books. Move costs around the map like a shell game. Suddenly, the main club's accounts look healthy. Not because it spent less, but because the network absorbed the damage where nobody's looking. The clubs at the bottom aren't really clubs anymore. They're farms, factories, tax and talent workshops feeding the one club the owner actually cares about. And the fans of those smaller clubs, they think they're chasing their own dream. They don't realize their team exists to serve someone else's. Here's the part that should bother every supporter. When your club joins one of these networks, you're told it's good news, investment, ambition, a rich owner at last. And sometimes it is, but you also quietly lose something. Your club stops being an end in itself. It becomes a means, a tool in someone else's bigger plan. Your best young player might be sold not because it's best for your team, but because it's best for the club above you in the chain. Your rival in another country might be strengthened using talent your club developed. You still sing. You still pay. You still believe. The 11 players out there are fighting only for you. But somewhere above the badge, on a spreadsheet you'll never see, your club is just one square in a much larger grid. So the next time two clubs walk out against each other, look past the shirts. Ask who owns them. Ask where their best players came from and where they'll go. Ask whether the rivalry on the pitch is even real to the people at the top. Because modern football isn't always 11 against 11. Sometimes it's one owner playing both sides of the board and winning no matter who scores. That's what this channel's about. The money hiding behind the game everyone thinks they already understand. If this changed how you see your club, subscribe. Because next time, we'll follow another thread the game would rather you never pulled. Where football meets finance, this is In Offside,